Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. To get ourselves a treat.
Hey, welcome to Let's All Go to the Lobby.
He's back.
Let's get dangerous.
Let's get dangerous. Dangerous.
That's not what I was going to do. I was going to Dogwing Duck.
How you been, man? How was your trip to Florida?
It was alright. It was just alright.
Classic Florida, huh?
Yeah.
Classic mosquito, gross-ass creatures.
No, not very many mosquitoes. We did have one of those little geckos come into the house. We had to chase it around.
Yeah. I've been there. We were in Florida at the same time, right? But we just never
knew it.
We never knew it.
Yeah.
Even kind of in the same era. We went to the same theaters. We went to the Enzian.
Dude, it'd be amazing if we didn't accidentally run into each other.
Right.
I don't know. Did you see Sicario when you were down there?
No, I didn't.
There was a few people in there. I was like, kind of looks like you were one of them.
I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe one day we were in a supermarket and we just passed each other, but obviously it didn't register.
We were just like, oh, dude, that dude looks dumb.
Yeah, look at this guy.
Look at this dude. Look at this long hair. What's he going for?
He's trying to be me? We each think that. So it was just Florida, huh?
It was just Florida.
Well, we made do.
Good. I'm glad to be back. Let's say that.
That's good. No, I feel you. Everyone's glad to be back once they leave Florida. Let's be real. So, oh boy. So I'm glad you listened to the Lit Boys podcast, right?
Yeah, I did listen to it.
Yeah, you texted me and you're like, "Damn, you boys are lit." And I'm like,
we need to get them on here. I wanna be a part of this.
Yeah, dude, they're great people.
I could be fun too.
That's right. I think you met Mitch once, right?
I did meet Mitch.
Yes, and you haven't met David yet. So
not. Mm-hmm. Unless he was at what was that movie? The documentary, Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Oh no, that wasn't. No, that's.
Oh, okay, then no, I have not met him.
Mm-hmm. That was someone else. Well, I think Mitch was there too.
But
we had another friend with us as well. Yeah, dude. Anyway, you just want to jump into it?
Yeah, let's jump into it. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do have a lot to talk about. But, real quick, let me just pull something up here.
Let me pause it so I can use that.
Yeah, because 30 seconds in, no, for real though. But I do have to pause it though because I want to show you something, and I unfortunately can't show you here.
Okay.
But I want your reaction to it, so save it when I.
Okay.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
News might just be something I love.
Back to you, fuckers!
Let's get it!
Yeah, dude.
It was hype.
That was ours, yeah.
Using those news segment video clips.
That's exactly.
Oh, it's
exactly. I basically just looked up, famous news scene, news scene scenes, and I got Bruce Almighty, Nightcrawler is in there, Network, and who else? There was one. Anchorman, yeah. Yes.
That's hype.
Yes.
Sweet, we are moving up.
We are moving up.
Some upgrades.
That's right, baby. So, anyway, we talked about this at the last podcast, but I wanted to get your take on it. Did you hear that James Gunn got rehired?
I did.
For Guardians of the Galaxy?
That's exciting.
Anything you got to add
There could be some repercussions here. Maybe he doesn't put his best foot forward because of the kind of soured relationship. Maybe we get the best movie that they've done yet. I mean, they clearly, all the actors clearly love him, and they definitely show it on set and stuff like that.
And it would be cool, though, that he gets to finish his trilogy, because this would be the first time one director has finished a trilogy within the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad that he got the job back. I'm just surprised, and I said this in the last podcast, I'm surprised it happened, just in general.
Oh, yeah.
Because Disney made such a huge deal about not rehiring him, that they were not going to do it. So stop, petitioning.
And isn't he working for the enemy now?
Yeah, he's still doing Suicide Squad. Is there going to be
a conflict of interest there?
I don't know. He's still doing Suicide Squad, and he's going to do Guardians after that. So out of all this, the only thing he got was an extra job. So
yeah,
fantastic. So I was just.
I think we're on the same page though. I mean, it's cool.
That is cool.
James Gunn's great.
Yeah, I just this whole like controversy was like pointless now though. It's like this whole thing was just stupid.
Yeah.
You know.
At least we got something to talk about. So
that's true. It's podcast. Fuel. It's fuel for us.
We got two things to talk about. It happening and him coming back.
Yeah, that's right. So still Suicide Squad is still happening, which that is also a complete reboot, and now he's doing Guardians 3, which the Guardians 3 will probably be still at the later half though of Phase 4 because he's got to do. I mean, two big budget movies in a row. That's not easy.
Oh yeah.
That's not easy. So yeah, I was just wondering what you thought about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go on to our next piece of news here. John David Washington and Robert Pattinson cast as the leads in Chris Nolan's new, quote, event film.
Awesome.
That is super cool.
I was really he had a lot of charisma in Black Klansman, and then Robert Pattinson, he's always great.
So underrated.
He's so underrated.
Because people,
you
already know.
Twilight.
People always think Twilight.
But let me tell you something. No one hates Twilight more than him.
Yeah, just look up a montage of him talking shit about Twilight, and it is there.
It's hilarious.
He did it strictly for the money.
For the money.
Twilight. You know what Twilight did? Twilight gave him enough money to basically go out and do whatever film he wants to do now.
Yes.
He can do indie films where he's paid nothing now.
Yeah.
And he's just set. He can just do films now because he's got millions in the bank from Twilight. So, that's the thing. If you've ever seen Good Time...
The Rover,
Lost City of Zed even...
yeah, he's awesome.
He's awesome in all of them. He's a serious actor. He really is like an auteur, I guess you could say.
Oh yeah,
he's like a thespian, you know, in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, where he takes his craft very, very seriously.
Every time I see him in something, he just feels completely different. Like,
yes.
He can transform himself, and I never think, oh, it's just a dude from Twilight.
Yeah.
Never have I thought that.
He puts himself in the role so much. That's why there was rumors circulating when Ben Affleck quit as Batman. People were like, oh, Robert Pattinson, there was rumors that he was, like, being considered, and people were like, this is awful, and I'm like, I think he could pull it off, especially, like, as a younger, like, Batman Year One type Batman, like, I think he could pull that off, like, just bulk up, like, he can transform his body for his roles, he's done it before.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And then, of course, Christopher Nolan's.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. And he's not putting, we don't know much about the film yet, but he's calling it an event film. So I'm not exactly sure what that means. Does that mean, like, it's going to be the film to end all films? Like... But I guess it means, like, just a big film, like...
Yeah, maybe it's like the Mad Max or something like that.
Yeah.
A year.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a sci-fi action film.
Which, I mean, it feels like every single one of his movies are the event film because, when I hear, like, that kind of thing, I think just, like, something that's just going to sweep everything for, like, technical aspects.
That's
which
true.
he did with Dunkirk. So.
Yeah, I love Dunkirk, too, so...
Good movie.
It was very short. It was his shortest movie, too.
Really?
Yeah.
It feels long.
No, dude, it's only like an hour and a half, that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, dude.
I have to rewatch it.
It ain't Interstellar long, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But, speaking of... I just got reminded of something. You know, like, this new trend on YouTube where people get, like, quote-unquote experts, like rock climbing experts, to, like, talk about famous rock climbing scenes in, like, movies, or...
How accurate it is.
Yeah, explosions experts talk about explosion scenes in movies.
Yeah.
They got Bear Grylls to do survival scenes in movies. So they did, like... First of all, they did, The Revenant, so you see, like, Leonardo DiCaprio just, like, sleeping in a horse, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, I've been here before. He's like, this brings back some memories. I had to cut open a camel. Actually, the camel was already dead, but had to cut open the camel and sleep in there. And so, yeah, it's a very tricky situation to be in, right? And then next one, Castaway, creating fire, right, with his hands. He's like, yeah, this scene's pretty accurate. I've been in this situation before. I mean, it took me like 12 hours once just to create fire with my hands. It takes a very long time, right? And then it goes, I'm not even joking, to Crocodile Dundee saving a woman by stabbing a crocodile. No joke. He's like, yeah, it's a very tricky situation, but I've been there before, But I wouldn't say it's that easy to put a knife between the croc's, like, eyelids, but I eventually got it down there and killed the croc myself, so... And then someone in the comments was like, shows clip from Interstellar where Matthew McConaughey goes into the fifth dimensional tesseract. Yeah, I've been in this situation before. It's very tricky to deal with reality and time like this. I just laughed so hard. So you just reminded me of that.
That's great, dude. Dude, YouTube comments, dude, they're
they really are. It's so funny. There was a ton of just comments of that, like, yeah, I've been in this situation before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, oh my god.
Starts it the same way every time. So good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Fantastic. So I'm looking forward to it. And John David Washington, that's Denzel Washington's son, isn't it? I think it is.
What?
Yeah, John David Washington.
How did I not know that?
Yeah, it's Denzel Washington's son. I think he's actually pretty young. I think he's like in his early 20s.
No way.
Yeah, or like
no. 1984. So he is.
Oh, okay. So
34.
Oh, never mind.
But he is. Yep. Denzel Washington. What the fuck?
Dang, dude, that's crazy. If talent runs.
He's
in the
64.
What?
He's 30 years older than him. I thought Denzel was a little younger than that. I thought he was in his 50s.
Oh, really? Denzel? Yeah. Yeah.
64.
I can see that. I can see that. He's a very young-looking man.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's got a very young complexion.
Good for him.
Very good for him, man. Well, that's pretty much all of the Hollywood elite. They just don't age.
Yeah.
You look at Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, Tom Cruise. It was funny in The Mummy, they called Tom Cruise, what's his name? Not Kurt Russell. Russell Crowe called Tom Cruise a young man. They're the same age.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Tom Cruise is older.
Yeah, he's like a year or two older than him.
That's so weird.
That is so weird. So
but you know what? Like Russell, the way he carries himself, like he could totally say that to him and get away with it. Calling him a young man.
That's true.
I wouldn't even be offended.
Same. So he was good in BlacKkKlansman, huh?
Yeah, I like him.
Oh, okay, cool. So I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, me too.
Event film. Dun, 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 dun.
More details later.
Which you will hear about on this podcast if you subscribe and follow.
Oh shit, we're at that stage.
I guess so. Click the bell icon to stay updated. All right, you want to talk about something else?
Yes.
Here's something that was interesting to me because they didn't advertise it. So I think there's a little something here. You know that film Curse of La Llorona? We're like, oh, this kind of looks like just like a typical horror film. Looks like, yeah, whatever. It's part of the Conjuring universe now. So here's the thing. Was this always the intention? Or is this an afterthought? Because it feels like an afterthought. Because they didn't advertise the fact that it was part of the Conjuring universe.
Yeah, they always put it in the trailers.
Yes, and you know what I think? I think, this is just my theory, I could be completely wrong. The movie could be a great horror film. I feel like they don't have enough faith in this horror film, so they're making it part of the universe to get people in the seats.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it's a marketing thing.
That would work anyway?
I think horror films always have an audience, even bad ones. Yeah, you know, sure. So you always get like those middle school kids who don't know like what good horror is yet, so they just go and see like, you know, horror films. Especially like PG-13 horror film, which I don't know if La Llorona is PG-13, but still.
It's got that vibe.
It's got that vibe. I don't know. It feels like it's a marketing thing. I don't know if it'll work. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it's going to work?
I don't really know the sales of the Conjuring universe films, so I really wouldn't know. But I think they do pretty well, so maybe. Mm-hmm. But also, that now I'm kind of thinking, do they just buy scripts that they like and just want to like...
Kind of like a Cloverfield thing?
Yeah, I guess like, do they just buy them and then they just add them to the Conjuring universe? Like, hey, we're going to pick this up for our studio or whatever.
Right.
So if we're going to do a sequel or whatever. Like, that's the intention.
Because apparently they announced it, there's one character from Annabelle in there. Like, he's playing the same guy. Oh, okay. Like, he's like the pastor from the same thing. So, I get it. But it was
probably just the same actor.
Yeah, and then they probably like
same...
they like they used like ADR to like overdub his name, like his original name, to like make it the name from Annabelle. Because they do that. You know, there's a lot of repeating like actors in these horror films, so they probably freaking did that.
Yeah.
I think it's an afterthought, because why wouldn't you put that at the forefront with like the first trailer? That would be
that would 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be.
They would have done that.
That would be the main hook to the film.
Yeah.
Because when we watched it, it was nothing. It was just like a horror film. We're like, okay, we watched it and then forgot about it. You know, not saying that means it's gonna be bad. Because again, trailers can sometimes make a movie look shit and it'll end up being good. But like, if it was part of the Conjuring universe, it would stick in my mind more. So maybe there is something to it, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know if it's a genius marketing tactic or if it's a terrible idea, like a terrible marketing tactic.
No, it's probably going to fail.
Yeah, probably. Which, don't do that. Also,
Curse of La Llorona.
They only did that because people don't know how to say that.
Yeah, you told me that. And I'm like, that makes so much sense because this is so cheesy.
Can I have one ticket for La Llorona Land? Is this a sequel to La La Land? Yes. Speaking of the Conjuring universe, though, we'll just mention it real quick. They did release a teaser for the new Annabelle. Mm-hmm. Annabelle Comes Home or something, but it was literally 17 seconds and it was just the title. So I'm like, we're not going to talk about that.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, even though
we didn't really even talk about The Irishman when it came out.
Yeah, exactly. Because it
showed the title.
Yeah, exactly. So
and the actors, which we already knew.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought I'd mention it somewhat since we brought it up. All right, you want to talk about some other excellent news?
Okay.
Bill and Ted 3 officially happening. You get it now.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah, excellent. Have you seen any of the Bill and Ted movies?
I haven't.
I haven't either, but I've seen clips from them. Like the seventh. You ever see the Seventh Seal like parody they did in their movie? They're like.
No, I didn't, but I would love to see that.
It's fucking hilarious. So. Someone told me about it, like, you need to watch this set, like, Bill and Ted. We were talking about, like, classic movies or something, and he mentioned Bill and Ted's Seventh Seal parody, which was, like, in the movie, where, you know, they're playing chess with death.
Yeah.
And it's Bill and Ted, they're playing chess with death, and they beat death, and he's like, son of a bitch, what just happened? He's like, best 2 out of 3. So then they're playing, like, Operation or some shit, and they're like...
Oh, my God.
And then, like, Bill and Ted beat death again, and death is like... 7 out of 5. And then they're playing like fucking like Scrabble or something, and like they just keep changing board games.
I need to see this.
It's hilarious.
I'm gonna watch these movies. I think they're on Hulu.
Yeah, it's funny. Like apparently they're really, really funny. From the little I've seen of them, they seem really funny, and I don't know why I haven't watched them. It's just one of those things I just never.
Not enough time.
Exactly. So. This does kind of fall into the trend, though, of like, okay, we're taking a beloved 80s, 90s property and just making another one, you know? But people have been asking for a Bill and Ted 3 for years, man. Yeah. For years. I thought it was going to be one of those movies that was just never going to happen.
Now it's kind of weird because, like, the actor who plays, not Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, I don't even know which one. I don't even know which one's which.
He I saw them in an interview, like, pretty recently because they just announced it. I kind of already heard about this. Mm-hmm. And, like, now that, like, we associate him with, like action movies and stuff, he's like John Wick. It's like, how are we going to go back to viewing him as, like, this, like, geek? And,
whoa,
like this Wayne's World dude.
Well, they're, like, in their 40s, right? So it's like, what, or 50s. Yeah, they're in their 50s. So it's like, what are Bill and Ted up to? Like,
I don't know. How are they going to make this work? Yeah. Please tell me they just play themselves. Like, he just went on to be a big action film star or whatever.
Yeah. It's literally their exact same life. Just instead of Keanu Reeves, it's Bill or Ted. Or
you know what?
One he is.
I wouldn't, like, cross that. Like, I know that we're just, like, making, like, goofy theorizations or whatever, but, like, that could actually happen. Because
Bill and Ted is, like, surrealist. Like, they bend reality. It's weird. It's crazy. So, excellent. It's funny because I've never seen the Bill and Ted movies, but I know all the catchphrases and stuff. Excellent. And, like, you know that.
I don't know any.
You don't know it when they do the air guitar and then the thing plays?
I really don't know it.
Really? Oh, man. It's funny.
I was sheltered as a child.
Yeah? You couldn't watch Bill and Ted?
No, I could watch. They didn't show me that. So.
Oh, okay. No, I got you. It's like you can watch everything except Bill and Ted.
It's like, oh, fuck.
Damn it.
I had, like, really weird rules when it came to watching stuff.
Yeah?
Like, I couldn't watch Johnny Bravo.
What? Oh, okay.
Like, at one house, because, you know, my parents are separated. Like, at one house, I couldn't watch Johnny Bravo.
Is that because, like, he's kind of like a womanizer, like, kind of sexist? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there was a couple more.
Look, let me tell you something. Johnny Bravo, Golden Age Cartoon Network, amazing show. You could never get away with that show nowadays, though.
Oh, yeah, no.
No way. Absolutely not. Dude, that was a good time, dude. Johnny Bravo, Samurai Jack, Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls.
It was
Those were some good times.
And don't get me wrong, there's some really good Cartoon Network shows like still being made.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of have to like even Steven Universe is really good.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear it's really good. Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls is a Disney XD show.
Okay,
I just watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Almost cried.
Dang.
Loved it.
I hear it's amazing.
Real good.
I hear it's amazing.
So yeah, but we also had a lunch mom or whatever back in high school that we called her Johnny Bravo because she had like the hair that stuck up or whatever. And every time she would come back, can I grab your trash from you or whatever? And every time my friend would go, do the monkey with me. He would do it. She didn't know what was going on.
Hey, mama.
Whoa, mama.
Oh, mama. That was such a great show. Oh my gosh. In the 90s, Cartoon Network was like king of the cartoon scene. But I feel like now Nickelodeon dominates now. Like Nickelodeon was, for a long time. Nickelodeon, they both kind of suck now, unfortunately. They still have their good shows. But Nickelodeon
You're
for a long
referring to
time.
SpongeBob. I know you
Oh,
are.
SpongeBob, yeah, 100%. Yeah. SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they also had Jimmy Neutron, yep. Which, by the way, we'll bring up more Nickelodeon shows later.
Oh, nice.
But Bill and Ted 3. Excellent! All right.
Yeah.
So you know how Disney is acquisitioned Fox. So we got some interesting news here for you. Disney has closed Fox 2000 Film Division, which has been responsible for many not independent, but like, I guess you could say independent, sort of. Yeah, you could pretty much say independent. Like independent, kind of smaller scale original films, in all honesty, like Life of Pi, Love, Simon, Hidden Figures, a lot of like Oscar-y type films.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I think, are over-exaggerating a little bit. Like, I read some of the comments on this announcement, and they're like, this is the sign that Hollywood is no longer going to be a place for independent films with a real voice, and it's all going to be big budget films from here on out. And I'm like, it's a bit of an overreaction. I think there's always going to be a place for smaller films.
See, if they, I feel like closing 2000 isn't as big of a deal for like the independent scene if you close like Searchlight.
Searchlight, exactly.
Searchlight,
I was about to bring that up.
Way bigger.
Searchlight is way bigger for like independent films.
Yes.
Like you said.
It's like the Sony Pictures classic of Fox.
Yeah, it's like that is really their independent film division. I can kind of see where they're coming from because Searchlight really is their independent division, and then there's the 20th Century Fox, which is their big budget division, and then there's Fox 2000, which is sort of like this middle ground.
Yeah.
So it's like, I understand where Disney's coming from. It's like, why have this middle ground? You know, just put it all under one banner. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, give it to Fox Searchlight. There's no reason...
This doesn't mean that they're going to release less movies.
Exactly. And there's no reason Love, Simon can't be considered, you know, a Fox Searchlight film. Yeah. You know, so yeah, I can kind of see where Disney is coming from. So I think people are a little overacting just a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of...
As they do.
Yeah, right? Also, Fox, here's a little other news that I didn't put on here, but, you know, they're talking about, because I follow comic book movie news too, they're talking about what they're going to do with Deadpool. Apparently, Deadpool is going to stay under the Fox banner, and they're not going to put him in the MCU, but it's still going to be Ryan Reynolds and everything, which makes complete sense.
I pretty much guessed that.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, they can't put Deadpool in the MCU. They just can't. They can't.
Unless they, oh man, they would make him really, really...
They would nerf him, and They
would nerf him.
I mean, they would,
best
like...
way to put it.
Yeah, and he would probably mention it, like, as a joke, but that's going to make kids be like, oh, now I want to watch Deadpool 1 and 2, and then it's going to be like, that's a recipe for disaster, so... I can see... I think Deadpool's just going to be its own universe now.
Yep.
So, Deadpool's the outlier, that's totally fine.
Yep.
Anyway, so yeah, again, don't overreact, people. There's still going to be plenty of smaller films out there. Smaller films will never die.
True.
So...
I think. We can never be sure.
That's right. That's right. Are you ready for something?
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the next segment.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
That's so sick. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, the musical cue, and then our voices showed up. We don't even need to do it anymore.
Because at first it was gonna be like coming soon with, you know, like that classic, like whatever.
Oh yeah.
But then I'm like, but I gotta add trailer trash in there somehow. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just put it over it. Like, I don't even care. I'll just put it over the freaking music.
Do you have one for recently seen too?
You'll have to see.
Oh!
See. You know. Oh, it's great. Oh, okay, so trailer tragedy.
Oh man, I'll never get to harmonize with you again. It's so sad.
I mean, we can still do it after each one, but so last podcast, me and David talked about. I don't know if you got that far in it because you said you watched like 45 minutes of it. We talked about how me and him did not watch.
Yep, the Avengers trailer.
The Avengers trailer.
I did get to that part, and I did watch it.
You did watch it?
I did watch it. Do you know what the tagline for it is?
No. Oh wait, is it like we never stop or like we never?
It's something like that. It's whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. So
without spoiling,
I will not spoil anything. Yeah. I'll just say that this trailer is kind of like reminiscent. Kind of like it opens with the Iron Man, the beginning of Iron Man, his origin. It shows him in the sand with the suit.
Oh, so it's like a clip show sort of thing.
Yes,
okay,
it doesn't really show all that much. It just kind of like shows the relationships and stuff like that. It shows what's worth fighting for, and it's got me very excited. And actually, this morning, dude, I don't know what it was, but like I was super emotional, and like there was like several trailers that just had me like kind of like tearing up almost. And
yeah.
This was one of them. And I've already seen it like 4 or 5 times. So like,
dude, the amount of willpower I am like pushing onto myself to not watch this trailer is ridiculous.
Okay, so I'm going to sound like a really bad influence here.
Yeah.
A lot of peer pressure coming from me right now.
Yeah.
But I would say just watch it because you're going to see it anyway. If you go to the theater anytime before this movie comes out, you're gonna see it.
No, yeah, I see where you're coming from.
And it's not like you're gonna do this, like hide under your shirt or something, cover your ears. You're not gonna do that. You're gonna watch it.
Right. It's gonna be like,
might as well just watch it.
You know, I will admit though, I do that though with trailers sometimes.
Really, I did that one time, and thankfully I didn't because I wanted to see. This is so stupid. I wanted to see Terminator Genesis.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to know anything about this movie. And then I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, thank God you saw that trailer. You dodged a bullet.
Oh, yeah. At first, I was doing that, but I could hear everything through it. So I'm like, I might as well just... And then the big twist showed up. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Terminator films are notorious. Terminator trailers, rather, are notorious for spoiling the entire movie. In every single Terminator film. Starting from the second one. Like, the second trailer... This is going to be spoilers for the whole Terminator franchise. It's to warn everybody, but whatever. Like, in the second trailer, it's known as one of the most spoilery trailers because it reveals that the Terminator is a good guy. That would have been such a cool twist to not know. Oh, yeah. I don't know what the third one did. Maybe the third one's off. But, you know, Terminator Salvation, that's notorious for spoiling the fact that what's his name? Sam Worthington's character was also a Terminator. And then Terminator Genesis just revealed John Connor was the Terminator bad guy. So I was like, wow, okay, you guys are just continuing this trend now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. My friend Mitch said there is one element of the Avengers trailer, because he watched it, that spoils something a little bit, like a little bit of a story element. Do you know what he's talking about? Like, could you see something? Or like, no, or like...
Fuck, now I gotta think. Yeah. I just watched it, but like I've seen it like several times. I really don't know.
You really don't know? Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking. Maybe he's... I don't know.
I mean, maybe he's looking into something a little too deep.
Right.
You know what? I do know what he's talking about. I absolutely know what he's talking about. Okay, yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
But you already said that you saw the white suits though.
I saw I saw Captain America in the white suit, and then that's it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
that's all. Yeah,
cool. Yeah, because that's the thumbnail. It's Captain America in the white suit.
Oh, it's hot.
Yeah,
it's hot. But that's not what I'm referring to. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I didn't notice it until like 3 watches in.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting.
Interest.
So overall, great trailer.
Awesome.
I want to watch it. I want to watch it, but I'm not going to do it.
You're not going to do it?
I'm not going to do it. I'm going to hold out.
I would love to see a reaction to it.
I know. Because you know me, I'd be like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah. But want to talk about another trailer where I was pretty... too?
Yeah.
Lucy in the Sky by your boy, Noah Hawley, baby.
It looks real
It looks so good, dude. So good. At first I was like, okay, another space movie.
Yeah,
but then,
we've got too many of those.
Yeah. But then it started to kind of like veer off into like a different direction. And then as soon as... I thought the style was pretty cool just from the get-go. And then as soon as I saw Noah Hawley's name, I was like, all right, I am in.
Yeah, the visuals are awesome. It's very dreamlike. It seems like she just kind of has her head in the clouds. And then there was one scene in particular where she like starts floating off into space. I was like, this looks just like 8.5, like one of the opening scenes.
Oh, where
he's
like,
attached to the rope and he's
rope.
like a kite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably a great homage to that.
It is.
Because Noah Hawley, I've always called him Houtley, just because it's such a easier name to say than Howley. Mm-hmm. For those of you who don't know, he is the creator of TV shows, showrunner, writer, and creator, and director for a lot of these shows as well, of Fargo and Legion. Both amazing shows. I've never seen Fargo, but I did see Legion.
Fargo's fucking awesome.
Yeah, Fargo I hear is really great, and Legion is also amazing. So I've been waiting to see this guy transition to movies. Has he ever done a movie before, or is this his debut? We gotta look this up now. I think this is his debut, if I'm correct. So
you got that?
Don't
do it on your phone, man. Your phone's about to die.
Yeah, it's at 10% right now. Absolutely fantastic, like, visionary. I'm just gonna say it. He's a visionary. The dude's style is absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to see like what he brings to this film. Even something like the aspect ratio, which is ironic because I just released a short film called Fragments, which has the aspect ratio gimmick. Mm-hmm. So I know I'm kind of a hypocrite for saying this, but I'm kind of tired of like the aspect ratio gimmick, like people changing aspect ratios to like signify something.
Yeah.
Even though I literally just did it. So I saw the same thing happening here, and I was like, oh no, is this going to be that again? But then again, as soon as Noah Hawley's name appeared, I was like, okay, he's going to bring something new to the table, and I know it. Because his style is superb.
Looks like he wrote a film, The Alibi.
The Alibi?
It came out in 2006. Steve Coogan's in it. That's
okay.
Cool.
But
James Marsden. But he as far as like directing and stuff, no.
This is his directorial debut, huh?
Yeah.
Natalie Portman,
He's also a writer, he writes books too.
Oh yeah, he's like a writer primarily, like writer, showrunner, but he's a genius. It's sometimes hard to convince people about, like, when I say like Noah Hawley's a genius, or some people like who say Cary Fukunaga's a genius. It's like they only do TV, so it's like, or even like the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
Like that before Captain America, that was such a hard sell. They're like, what are these TV guys like? Come on. It's like, no, they're visionaries. Trust me. You just got to see what, like, you have to see them behind the curtain. Like, they're visionaries, you know? And they just, you know, it's hard to convince people of that sometimes with TV.
I mean, you got to think about it this way. Writers usually have a vision of what they want to, like, see on the screen. Mm-hmm. So, like, to be able to do that yourself is kind of like, it's a cool thing. Like, mm-hmm. I know that you probably, you know, you write a lot too. You have, like, the whole thing in your mind and how you want it to be seen.
That's true.
You're a visionary and you're a writer.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
So are you, my friend. No, but I get what you're saying. Who's do you know the creator of True Detective? Or showrunner?
Nick Pizzolatto or
Pizzolatto?
Something like that. I can't really pronounce his
name. I mean, boom. There you go. He's a visionary. And it's like people are like, because TV is such a different ballgame. You know, there's showrunners, there's creators, there's directors for almost every episode. Sometimes the same guy directs all of them, but, you know, for long-form television, that's pretty rare.
Yeah.
And writers, obviously, they get different ones to do it, even for a couple episodes. People are like, yeah, but it's such, you know, it's like, it's hard to pinpoint it to one guy's vision. And I'm like, no, it's not. Trust me. Noah Hawley is a genius. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. So I cannot wait for this film. Like,
it looks super good.
It looks so good. Let's talk about something else that looks good, though, unless you have any more to add to Lucy in the Sky. With diamonds. I like the little musical cue of that, too, at the end.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah. Toy Story 4 first full-length trailer was released.
Tears,
baby. I can't wait, dude.
God only knows is what sealed the deal when the Beach Boys came out. I'm like, oh no.
Oh yeah, dude. This looks like this film looks like it's going to be the most introspective of like all the films, of all the Toy Story films.
Oh yeah.
You know, so like, what is the purpose of a toy and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's like, dang.
Big philosophical questions.
Yeah, it's like, are we gonna go here? It's like, damn, we're going here. Okay. It's kind of heavy.
And that's kind of what it needs. I think that they kind of avoided. I know that Toy Story and like a lot of animated films like to have like comedy in there, but like it really stayed clear of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Very heartfelt. Actually, like when he went to that like puppet like shop or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is like kind of creepy. These things are
like
creepy looking. It looked like the
like Slappies.
Goosebumps. The
yeah,
night
Slappy. Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a bunch of Slappies coming out. Like,
oh boy,
dude, are you that freaking It was a homage too. What was it a homage to? It's Toy Story 2 with like Woody like being thrown away. It's like bye Woody, like or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That shit scarred me as a kid. Freaked me out.
Yeah.
I was like, what
They're
is this?
really good at that.
Yeah.
It's like opposite ends of the spectrum, like so heartfelt and then it's like so creepy.
Yeah.
Traumatizes you as a kid.
Yeah. Do you think the trailer showed too much? Some people are saying it showed too much.
I think it did.
I think it did too. Just like a little bit.
But I still want to see it.
Yeah, I can't wait. The animation looks so good. And Bo Peep is back.
Yeah.
So I wonder what she's been up to.
She looks like a badass.
Yeah, of course. They got to make her like badass. So I wonder what she's like a rogue toy maybe. Maybe she's like a lost toy. Maybe Andy lost her. You know?
Or like what I kind of get out of the whole amusement park thing is like when you can have all of this, it's like you're not just for one specific child. You could be for all of them.
Yeah. Or different perspective. Maybe toys love being amusement park toys because no one ever wins them, so they can just chill. Yeah.
That's kind of wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of a sad notion.
Well, you know, it's like maybe they don't want to be owned by anybody. They're just like, yeah, like no, we just chill here. We just hang with each other.
You know what? I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that it's not like reflective of something else. Like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, true. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Toys' lives matter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh boy.
I can't wait for this movie, and I do feel like it did show.
I did show too much. Some of the vibe was a little odd, I guess, and some people are saying it's a little derivative of Toy Story 2. I mean, I don't really think so. I mean, people are like, oh, but, you know, Woody gets lost, and I'm like,
it did kind of feel like that. I was like, I feel like this happens a lot.
Yeah, but I feel like that might just be trailer editing, because in the later part of the trailer, what's her name again? The new Andy, the little girl. I can't remember. Anne, maybe Anna.
I don't have a connection with her.
Yeah, sure. Whatever her name is. Whatever her name is, like she's at the amusement park. Like they're at a camper in the amusement park. So I think they're not necessarily lost. I think they're just wandering around.
Yeah, they're just chilling.
Yeah, they're just chilling, baby. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, dude. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeet. Of the variety.
Dude, we got some freaking bangers of trailers today, dude. Like, all these trailers except one are like really great.
Ooh.
Let's talk about number 3 on my most anticipated.
Once Upon a Time in
Hollywood, baby. Or number 2 was it? I don't even remember.
I think it was my number 2.
Yeah, I think it was my 3.
Yeah, this was so good.
It looks so good. I can't wait for it. For those of you who don't know, those of you who like live under a rock, this is Quentin Tarantino's 9th film. Potentially second to last film. Dude, I can't wait.
Loving the dialogue, loving the vibe that he really captured the aesthetic of the 60s.
Yes.
He even had that like weird that snap,
zoomy
that zoom that zooms in and out.
And like Margot Robbie is a clone of Sharon Tate. She looks exactly like her. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like in a good way. Everyone seems like a clone. Like freaking Bruce Lee, the actor who plays Bruce Lee. Like he got the mannerisms down and he's got the voice down. Like that was really good. And it just seems like a classic Tarantino like love letter to Hollywood.
And there's like one part of the trailer that I feel like is completely missing. Like there's like 2 parts, 2 big narratives of the movie. It's supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's not showing one side of it, which is kind of cool. I think that side is going to be kind of more like horror-esque.
Yeah, because Quentin Tarantino's kind of been known to kind of
blend
genres, and a lot of people, there were some critics, I just watched a couple critics the other day talk about The Hateful Eight. They said they loved how the movie started, but they hated how it turned into your typical Tarantino blood grindhouse kind of fest. And I'm like, that's Tarantino though. I mean, that's kind of like what he does. I mean, he didn't do that for like his earlier films, but like later on, like, I mean, that's kind of what he's known for. But this kind of seems like different. Like, this kind of seems like, and again, this is just judging from the trailer, that it feels like if this just turned into like this blood fest, like grindhouse exploitation style film, it kind of seems like it would be out of place though. Like that just seems like my take on it. You know, even though it's based on the Manson murders, but I feel like he might be more subdued because this is a real story. This is not like something fake. Like this actually happened. You know, not the storyline with Leonardo DiCaprio, but like the Charles Manson murders, like with Sharon Tate.
I can see where you're coming from,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like it would just be accurate to the 60s to like kind of pay tribute to the 60s. The 60s was just
right.
It was all over the place. I mean, there's moments of it where it's like it's a big party, but like there was a lot of darkness in the 60s too. So,
yeah, that's true. And you're right, because this was first pitched as Charles Manson movie by Quentin Tarantino before anything was announced about it. And then it was revealed, oh no, like, it's about an actor and his stunt double. And then you're kind of trying to figure out, like, where does Sharon Tate fit in all this? Where does Charles Manson fit in all this? Like, how do these stories blend together? Do they even blend together? You know?
True.
So it's gonna be very interesting. Maybe, like you said, it's gonna be like a revisionist thing. Where, like, can I just, like, put out a theory here that will probably not be true at all?
Sure.
Like, what if frickin', again, revisionist history, because he did that.
That's what he always does.
That's what he always does. What if, like, Leonardo DiCaprio, who's kind of, like, on, like, the downtrodden path of, like, the failing actor, what if, like, him and his stunt double, like, looking for, like, fulfillment of some kind, like, straight up just murder the whole Manson family or something? Or, like, there's, like, this big...
That, or create a conspiracy where he framed Manson.
Oh, that would be crazy.
But it was actually them, and they got away with it. They just took some random crazy guy, somebody who would just look really bad in interviews, and then just throw him under the bus.
That's fucking crazy.
I like either one, though.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, because I think Roman Polanski and Quentin Tarantino are friends, aren't they? I believe they're friends.
I mean,
so...
Whoa, too much. Wow, sorry, that happens all the... Not really sorry to the viewers, I'm sorry to Nico. That happens all the time.
I've seen it all before. But yeah, Quentin Tarantino and Roman Polanski are friends, I believe. I could be wrong. Or they were friends. So I think it would be weird for him to take, like, his wife and, like, murder his friend's wife, like, on screen. Even though it happened, I feel like she would survive in the end. Like, if he was doing revisionist history, I feel like she would survive in the end.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, so.
But also, I feel like he would be about it.
Maybe, man. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Like, whatever. He probably asked for his permission.
Yeah. So, that's very true, actually. Point is, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Just imagine that conversation. Can I kill your wife?
Oh, God, that's terrible.
Which one?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's very it's very tricky when it's very tricky when you're dealing with, like, a real life horror, like the real life tragedy like that. Some people are saying that this movie's offensive because whatever, but we don't know. Again, we don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
The movie comes out and it's like they do Sharon Tate terribly. It's like, okay, yeah, this was offensive, but he might not do that. You know, it's like we don't know yet. We saw, like, glimpses. We don't know what's happening. Again, we don't even know how Sharon Tate relates to the story.
Yeah.
So, another thing at the end, I think I know this, but, like, at the end when the child whispers in his ear and he just starts, like, crying, like, he's crying because, like, is he crying because, like, he's just was so touched by that, by, like he's inspiring, like, a child?
Yeah.
That's what I thought too, because I was wondering, I'm like, is he crying because, like, he inspired a child, or is he crying because, like,
what he witnessed?
Yeah, like what?
Like,
yeah.
This is the end of the movie.
Yeah.
In that shot, though, he looked just like Kurt Russell. Did you not think that?
I didn't think that, but now I'm thinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. Maybe he's a descendant, because, you know, Tarantino connects his films.
Oh boy.
You're right, though. I had that exact thought of, like, him crying like that. I almost thought that was, like, the last shot of the movie. I'm like, that looks like a very last shot of the movie kind of shot. You know?
Maybe we're just looking...
We're looking way too deep into it. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, dude. Oh.
Very excited.
I'm very excited, dude. Again, another banger, dude. Another banger. Yeah, is there... So anything more we got to add to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I think we covered our bases.
Yeah, it looks good.
I was actually surprised that you wanted to talk about this one, because I didn't even know. Did you watch Stranger Things?
I do. I love Stranger Things.
Okay.
I love Stranger Things 1 and 2. I know you said you're not too huge on it, right?
Yeah, it's solid.
But I feel like it's inspired by so many 80s movies. I feel like it would be cool to talk about it, because let me tell you something, that trailer was ballin'!
That trailer was really good, and I've always thought
so
the trailers were good.
Yeah.
One thing that I've always wanted to see in the show is like to kind of steer clear of the upside down.
Yeah.
And that's not a very reasonable request at all, but I really like the characters and I really like their relationship and stuff like that. I think that 2 just kind of did the same thing that the first season did.
Yeah, but this looks different, though.
It kind of does. It kind of looks more like FBI coming in and they're like, we need to
I mean, they even
take
have
over
like
the situation.
They even have like an assassin. Like if you saw that one shot, like that's kind of a new like take on something.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening, but
yeah,
it looks really cool. It looks colorful. It looks again really nostalgic because Stranger Things really banks on the nostalgia. But at least they have a cool story to kind of anchor that nostalgia. One thing is that it looks like the group is having a little bit of turmoil, a little bit of a fallout. Looks like they're kind of growing apart a little bit because they're getting older. Kind of a little coming of age drama.
Except for Steve. Steve's still loving the kids.
Steve's still loving the kids. How many kids are you friends with? That was kind of funny.
I love Steve. Steve's the best character.
No, Steve is the best character. He deserves better. I'm glad they didn't just turn him into like your typical bully. Like, no, he's actually like dope.
No. He was in season 1 like he was a character like I hate this dude. Like
yeah.
He's so stereotypical, and then like what they did with him is like, wow, this is the biggest 180 I think I've ever seen in a show.
Yeah, and then the second one, he's like the babysitter for all the kids.
He's the babysitter, and he's kind of like the older brother for some of them who don't really have like somebody to look up to.
That's right.
Like, wow.
Yeah, it's like wow, we really pulled a 180 on this character, but in a good way. Like that was cool to actually flesh him out.
Yes, if anything that season 2 did really well, it's doing that with Steve.
Yeah, for sure. I like the style. I just loved the way this trailer was edited. I just really liked it.
Yeah, for Netflix, it still looks like Netflix.
Yeah.
It always looks like Netflix, but it actually looks pretty good.
And I think it does, exactly. I think it has a little bit more style than your typical Netflix films, but I know what you're talking about, though. 100%. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. July 4th. And they always do that. Like, they have a Halloween. On Halloween, they released it, and they had, like, Halloween in the show. And now they're releasing it on July 4th, and I'm pretty sure
they showed fireworks
in July 4th, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
They know what they're like. Well, this is where when we're gonna release it. And stuff.
Yeah, it makes me not miss the 80s because I never lived in the 80s, but like it makes me be like, man, I kind of want to go back there because the 80s seem awesome. But then you probably go back there in real life, and you're like, oh, okay, this isn't that.
And then I'm like, where's the dance rush machine?
Yeah, right.
I'm like, no.
You actually had to go out to discos and even though that was the 70s, more of a 70s thing, but go out to like clubs and like dance.
Yeah, and club dancing is bad.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
I mean, in the 80s, it was all about the twist. Even though that's a 60s dance. But you know, it came back in the 80s. So.
Yeah, the 80s was breakdancing. My dad was a breakdancer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was he pop and lock? Or was he?
No, he was on the floor.
Oh, okay, nice.
He was getting it.
Just getting on that cardboard. So yeah, Stranger Things. Can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, talk about something else I can't wait for. Another prime trailer here. John Wick trailer 2, baby.
John Wick trailer 2.
It looks so good.
It looks so good, but do you feel like it didn't show it like that much more than it showed?
No, it didn't show like anything more. But
except
I liked
for one thing.
Which is what? Guns.
Lots of guns. And that's kind of like a. That particular scene was like kind of important because the whole excommunicado thing.
Yeah. So it shows kind of how Ian McShane is just sort of not on anyone's side. He's just sort of there.
Neutral ground.
He's neutral ground.
Which is what the hotel stood for. Anyway.
Yeah, and I really wonder what John Wick. How was he going to resolve this? Like, how was he going to
just kill everybody?
Yeah, I guess so. Like, he just kills the entire organization.
I'm telling you, man, this movie is going to be him trying to get out, like, just book it out of the country, and then he gets to the very last scene in the movie. This is, you ever played the game Journey? Did I even bring this up before?
No, I don't think so.
Journey, like, really sad game, like a platformer, and then you get to the end, and I'm gonna spoil the game. I guess.
Go ahead.
You're trying to get out of this like desert or whatever. And you're walking up the hill, and you're getting there, and your character just starts to fall like slowly. It falls and dies before it can make it, and it's like really sad.
Damn.
And it's like that's what it looks like at the end of this move, like that sand that he's climbing up. Like I can imagine the same thing where he's there, he's right at the end, and then he just collapses.
Oh damn, that could happen. That could happen.
And Halle Berry's also gonna turn on him.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I love it when someone throws a freaking knife between his legs, and then he just picks it up and throws it back.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. But dude, Johnny Wick, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Light the wick. So yeah, but like you said, there's not much to add.
Yeah, not
from
really.
the first trailer. That's the way I like it, baby.
Yeah.
So let's talk about another independent film we got here. That looks pretty dang good. The Last Black Man in Sacramento.
Tears.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
This movie, the framing is what did it for me. And
Yeah,
like, every
the
single
frame
scene.
it was like Ozu kind of like.
Yeah, I have
in a
no
way.
context for like what's going on in these scenes,
Mm-hmm.
like when they're throwing the leaves and stuff like that. But
Oh,
like, it
yeah,
just
the
it
slow
felt
motion.
so beautiful, like just such a beautiful friendship.
Yeah, the slow motion and stuff. Like it's so good.
Yes.
The style looks really cool and it looks really palpable.
Yeah, very, very. I really don't have too much to say, but you're right. Kind of now that you mention it about the Ozu, it's like the camera really doesn't move that much. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of stationary frames and stuff like that.
Or was it San Francisco? It was San Francisco, wasn't it?
San Francisco.
Damn,
yeah.
Because
you sent me that. What is it?
Sacramento. Yeah.
And then you had to tell me differently, and then you said. Because you did, because you were looking at your old notes. That's right.
I put San Diego down, sent it to you, and I'm like, oh, it's not San Diego, it's Sacramento, and no, it's San Francisco.
Oh man,
The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
I just started typing it in and it just showed up, so I'm like, I'll just click on it.
So again, the cinematography, you're right, just looks
so good. I
so
don't really
good.
know all that much about the movie. I mean, but just based on like. When it said like this, you can tell within 5 minutes this movie's special. I'm like, I can tell from the trailer that this movie's gonna be special.
Oh yeah, for sure, and you're right. It looks very like emotional, and it looks kind of
looks like a Barry Jenkins film.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a Barry Jenkins film, but just with more. I don't want to say more style. That's not the right word. Just a more clean style, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because Barry Jenkins is a style, but it's very like a handheld style.
Yeah, he does like his handheld.
Yeah, this seems like very clean kind of style.
Yeah.
So again, looking forward to it, dude.
Yes.
Last Black Man in San Francisco, and with that title, when I saw the title, I'm like, is this gonna be like some sort of political thing? But it really kind of isn't.
No.
It just kind of seems like it's just about this guy loving his home of San Francisco, and he just wants to stay there, you know. So there you go. Yeah. Anything more you got to add, or is that it?
No, it's no, there's not that much going on with it.
All right. Well, what's the last trailer we're going to talk about?
Oh boy. Dora and the Lost City of Gold.
That's right.
Oh boy.
I was doing that.
0 out of 10 for this trailer just because she didn't talk to the camera once.
That's right. That's what I was.
I'm assuming
referencing to.
People said that already though.
So when I saw the thumbnail for this, I thought it was a joke. I'm like, this isn't real. And then I saw Paramount Pictures on the freaking uploader tag, and I was like, oh my god, no, this is real. So I had to watch it, and oh boy, hola, soy Dora.
Oh dude.
I
just compared it like before we started this. I compared it to Clock Stoppers.
This looks like a made-for-TV film.
Yes, that's what Clock Stoppers totally was, and I saw that movie in theaters.
Oh my god, dude! I'm telling you, I thought Clock Stoppers was a TV film. I didn't even know that was in theaters.
Yeah, it did.
It was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I
was like,
I thought that film was a Disney
7 or something like that.
Really? I thought that was just a Disney TV film all these years. I had no idea. Wow, that's like mind blown. Yeah, dude. And again, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this is a kid's movie. It's not for you. It's for, like, young kids. But there's a ton of kids' movies that adults can enjoy.
That's true.
You know, there's a ton. Just because it's a kid's movie. Yeah, just because it's a kid's movie doesn't mean it's bad. Quality and kids' movie are not mutually exclusive, right? Is that the phrase? Or they are mutually whatever.
Wait.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like they can exist in the same realm. Good movie, kids' movie. Okay? You don't have to make them separate. Okay? Because it's ridiculous when people say that, you know? I mean, look at freaking Into the Spider-Verse. What was that, PG?
I think so, yeah.
That movie was great, you know?
Absolutely.
And this film seems so weird because it doesn't really know what it's trying to be. Is it trying to make Dora, like, gritty? What are you doing?
Well, it just looks like an adventure
Are you
film.
trying to make it more, like, realistic? Because if they're trying to do that, why is the monkey blue, and why does the monkey not look like a monkey? It looks like a monster, like, weird-looking thing. It's like a Pokemon.
Because they couldn't afford the CGI, dude.
Yeah, right? You know, it's funny, though. I laughed when I was watching the trailer, because it starts in the jungle or whatever. He's like, you're gonna go live with your cousin Diego in New York or whatever it was, or like California or whatever, and then it cuts to the high school, and I'm like, no, are we doing this? Are we doing these old 90s like fish out of water story where someone like goes to high school for the first time?
Yeah.
Are we doing a Masters of the Universe right now?
I was like, this is not living up to the title. This high school does not look like it's made of gold at all. Like,
yeah, I know,
where's
right?
this gold at?
What, Dora, urban jungle. Like, imagine that.
That hurts my body.
So they went back to the forest, in later back to the trailer, or back to the jungle rather, and I was like, okay. I'm like, why? I'm so confused with this whole film.
Yeah.
It's like, remember when this was just a joke, like a parody?
How did she get there? They threw her in the crater.
Like they kidnapped her, yeah.
Yeah, but how'd the fucking kids get there?
I think they kidnapped all of them for some reason.
Oh, okay.
It's weird, freaking Michael Pena and Eva Longoria is in it. Like, oh, Michael, what are you doing, man?
Oh, man.
Mike.
He's looking for that paycheck, dude.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Show me the money. Well, hola soy cash. I don't even know how to say.
The Google thing shows up. Here's your money or whatever.
Yeah.
It was the Jerry Maguire commercial.
Oh my gosh. I even put this as a joke on my most anticipated list of 2019.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't actually... There was a part of me that didn't think it was going to happen. You know?
Yeah, and we were talking about this before. I mean, if there's a release date, it's most likely going to get made.
Yeah. I didn't even know there was a release. I just thought Dora the Explorer. I'm like, there's no way that's happening. Come on. God. But it's happening.
We need those kids' movies.
And I'm not saying that it couldn't work, because I think... I mean, anything could work with the right writer.
Sure.
But they just took it in such a wrong direction. What? No.
But if a trailer is anything like any sort of like show of how it's gonna look or whatever, like, is it not looking that good at all?
It's TV movies.
Stylistically, like, I really don't care about Dora anyway. I mean, I was too old to watch that when it came out.
Swiper, no swiping.
Swiper's the best character. I wanted him to win.
Yeah, dude.
Where's Swiper at?
He looks dope. Yeah, he's not in the
trailer. You know what? Swiper is just the people, the whatever this organization is.
The Swiper organization or something like that? Oh my god. Imagine that.
I don't like that.
The map better talk. If the map and the monkey don't talk, boom, I'm done.
If they do talk, it's probably like, that's probably a negative to the film already.
So it's a lose-lose sitch because the film doesn't know what it wants to be. Like, Dora pulls out like a friggin' knife and stuff, and I'm like, okay, what are you trying to be here? Like, I'm confused.
Did you think when she showed up, and her eyes are so big, I'm like, is that Alita?
Yeah, Rosa Salazar. It could be, right? No, it's not Alita, but I mean,
they didn't even need to do the CGI.
I know, right?
I'm so sorry. Anyway, no.
No
bueno.
No bueno. How do you say no in Spanish? Isn't it just no? No. How about Oh. Okay, well that's that.
Yes.
Alright, you want to go on to,
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go.
Don't leave now, the movie's about to come on!
Excuse me.
Hey, theater! What do you do when you get stuck on a movie line with a guy like this behind you?
Wait a minute, why can't I give my opinion? It's a free country?
So that might be a little controversial for you because I put Annie Hall in there.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, I heard his voice.
Yeah, those are all...
Luckily, I don't have to hear it when I'm doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I thought it was the perfect, because he's waiting in line for a movie, and that the guy's giving his opinion, and then he's like, why can't I give my opinion? Which is what we're doing. And if you notice, those are all like famous scenes that took place in a movie theater.
Yeah.
So we had Scary Movie with the chick, like yelling in the movie theater.
Yeah.
And then we had Cape Fear with Robert De Niro laughing in the movie theater. And then we had The Blob with Steve McQueen saying, "The theater!" Like it's getting embellished in the Blob, And then, of course, Annie Hall when they're waiting in line, so...
In all honesty, that's a pretty decent scene.
Yeah, no, that's the best scene of the movie. That's the only standout scene in that entire movie.
Now that you mention it, I think that's probably true.
Yeah, so, talking about Annie Hall.
Yes.
So recently seen...
There's no reason to do that anymore. Are you gonna put that in in it.
Probably not.
No.
But I mean, I could, or we could still do it.
It's not the greatest harmony that we have. Anyway.
That's true. That's true. Trailer trash is the best.
It's the best. Easy mode.
I only saw one thing. I'm gonna be real with you. I've been watching a lot of TV, so I've watched one pretty awesome thing though. So pretty big movie. So
you want?
Oh, you want?
I have several things, but like I'm not gonna talk about them too much. I actually haven't done like any reviews or anything in a while.
Okay. So I saw Shazam.
Yeah.
Early pre-screening, 2 weeks early. So this is an exclusive, T-Kettle. Got an exclusive 2-week early review of Shazam.
I thought Mark went to that too.
Oh yeah?
I think so.
Here's the crazy thing. When studios do these 2-week pre-screenings, that means they have a lot of faith in the movie, right?
Yeah.
So they have a lot of faith that this movie is going to do well because now people who saw the pre-screenings, they're going to create word of mouth for it, including myself. So I saw Shazam, and it was pretty freaking good. I'm going to be real. It was really good, actually. I really enjoyed it.
Excellent.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, this is DC's new film, the 7th installment of the DC Cinematic Universe or Worlds of DC, whatever they're doing, whatever they're calling it, whatever. Shazam is about Billy Batson, who's like a little kid who, gets the power of the wizard, also named Shazam. He gets like the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Zeus, or like the powers of Zeus, the strength of Hercules, and like, the speed of Mercury, all like the gods, the Greek gods,
Yes.
So he gets all of them. So when this like 15-year-old kid says Shazam, he turns into like this kind of Superman-esque character. So it's like Big, but with a superhero.
Yes.
And there's actually a really cool tribute to Big in the movie. It was pretty funny.
Really?
Yeah.
So they knew.
Oh, they knew 100%. So this is directed by David F. Sandberg, who I've been following since his Lights Out short film. The dude is like, I mean, he's the story we all aspire to be, all filmmakers. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's an overnight success. He made a 1-minute short film online that was turned into a feature that he directed. And then he directed Annabelle 2, which was far superior than the first one. And now he's doing a freaking $100 million blockbuster. It's like, what? That's crazy.
Let's get it.
Did he do a good job? Yes, he did. Okay, first of all, this movie is a bit slow-moving in the start. So at the start, there's a couple moments of just a little awkward momentum, a little awkward acting here and there. But as soon as Shazam appears, as soon as the thing happens where Billy becomes Shazam, the movie gets like, all right, full throttle. Like, we're in it now. And then it just becomes amazing from then on, therefore. So if you're watching it in the first like 20 minutes, you're kind of like, I don't know if I'm feeling this. Just give it some time, because what they're doing is they're setting up all the characters and the relationships between all the characters. Because the first 20 minutes there's like no action.
Yeah.
Because they're setting up everything. So for people watching it, I can see how they might be bored for the first 20 minutes, but like I said, as soon as Zachary Levi appears, boom, movie is in full gear, and from then on, dude, movie is straight up fantastic. All right, the heart of the movie is great. The humor is actually really good. I saw it in a sold-out theater, so maybe it was kind of that crowd mentality, but people were cracking up at the jokes. They're really funny. Seeing like Billy Batson kind of like develop his powers and trying to test his powers and like figure it out is really hilarious, especially with like his foster brother there.
Yeah.
And like doing like in the trailer when you saw like the strength tests and the flight tests, there's like much more of that, and it's really funny.
Excellent.
There's some really good humor in the movie, and I think that's what really anchors this movie, is the human elements of the film, the drama, and the heart of the film. Because there's actually some really good drama. I won't spoil it, but Billy is kind of on the quest to find something, right? And you kind of see where it's going, but you don't exactly know if the movie has the balls to pull it off. They're like, are they going to do this, or are they going to take the cheesy way out? But no, the movie has the balls to do it, and they did it. And it has a kind of a satisfying conclusion. Satisfying in a weird way, in like a melancholy sort of way. And you're like, damn, like you actually had the balls to do that. And it's like, all right, I'm glad, I applaud you for taking that route,
This quest is to find a girlfriend.
No, it's not to find a girlfriend.
Oh.
But it's to find something.
I thought it'd be funny.
No, oh, okay, no.
I was joking. I didn't actually think that.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you were being serious. No, yeah. Again, there's some really good human drama, and the acting from across the board is great. Again, there's for some reason like the first 20 minutes, there's like some awkward moments, But after that, like the acting from then on is like great, especially from Mark Strong, who plays the villain, who, by the way, Dr. Sivana in the comics is not a very intimidating villain, but in this movie they make him like a very intimidating dude, because Mark Strong is always great as the villain.
He's so good.
He's always so good, and you're like, dang, like he's actually kind of intimidating. There's actually a scene, I won't spoil it, involving the villain in a boardroom, and I'm like, wow, like that just got dark. Like I think he just went like David F. Sandberg kind of went back to his horror roots for a little bit there.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, that's
crazy, huh?
I'm like, that's kind of dark. Like, you know, like Spider-Man 2, like with that scene with Dr. Octopus in the arms. I was like, and it's kind of, it's a great scene, but it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's kind of
I remember
dark like that.
That hit me when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's something like that where I was like, what the but there's also like an element of humor to it as well, kind of like dark humor. And I was like, this is crazy. So it was
probably dark humor if you're an adult, but if you're a kid, that's like
it's so that shit's traumatizing if you're a kid, dude. Holy crap. Yeah, like a little kid, because like there's like these, I don't want to spoil it. I won't even spoil it. But yeah, Mark Strong is a good villain. He does have motivation, so he's not just like a one-note villain. At least like they do give him backstory to why he's doing it. I will say that after something happens to him, he does sort of become like a little one-note, but he's not completely one-note, so that's good. Mm-hmm. You know, again, a lot of this movie is anchored by Zachary Levi's performance as a kid, basically becoming an adult superhero and figuring out his powers, and like the humor and the heart that comes with that, and like the humor and heart in finding a family, you know, which is kind of like the main theme of the movie, I guess you could say. You know, because he's like a foster kid.
Oh yeah.
So
I actually didn't know that.
It was in the trailer. You know, that was literally the first thing in the trailer. He's like, you've been to like 10 foster homes and 10.
Was the trailer number one?
I think like both of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I remember the first thing in 2 was him getting his powers.
Oh yeah, you're probably right.
So I watched the first one like forever ago. So
yeah, no, in the first one it was like the first thing said. All right, so yeah. Also, the action is pretty well done. Like, again, it's very grounded. The movie, and I'll get into my gripes in a second, but I guess I'll get into one of them now. You said the cinematography was very bland, very stock, you know?
Yeah.
That's very true. That's one negative I do have. The cinematography is very stock. I think David F. Sandberg, because this is like his third film, he's still kind of developing his style, though. Mm-hmm. So, I feel like what that style does, though, is it grounds the film. Because this is not like an epic film. This is not like an Avengers or a Justice League. It's a very grounded, very human story. Sure. So I think the cinematography kind of adds to that. Like, there's no epic scale, like wide scale kind of like city-ending battles happening. Sure. You know, the final battle actually takes place in kind of like a secluded area, which, again, just makes it more personal. Because I feel like this movie is much more of a personal film than it is like an epic film. You know, they're probably shaving Shazam. They're probably saving Shazam as an epic character for like later films. You know, if they ever do like another Justice League or something. Mm-hmm. You know, so the cinematography is kind of bland, but I feel like it just adds to the grounded nature of the film. You know.
Sure.
So again, like I said this 100 times, but Zachary Levi anchors this film, and the humor and the heart is really what sells this film, and that's where you get attached as a viewer. You get attached to these characters, and you start to care for like everybody. You care for everyone, and you're like, this is actually getting me. Like, I'm invested.
That's what DC needed.
Yes, it is, and they've been. This is 2 in a row, DC. So you've had it. You got it. You know, let's keep this going. Because this is the first time they've had 2 in a row. Uh-huh. Even after Wonder Woman, it was Justice League, and it was like, no! So, 2 in a row. You got this, DC. I believe in you. Another thing I really loved, again, is like the special effects. But they're like, because they're like cheesy, but like they're like good cheesy in a way. Mm-hmm. You know, because like that's who the character is. You know, Shazam is like a golden age hero that sort of embraces the cheesy aspects of that character. And I'm glad that Sandberg and the movie team, whatever, embrace the cheesier aspects of the character. Like, his suit is the Captain Marvel suit. They didn't try to modernize it. They didn't try to like add like weird armor bits or something like that. No, he looks exactly like he is from the comics, like the Golden Age. You know, like even the cape that goes halfway down, like it's great.
Yeah,
you know?
did they like stuff his like arms and stuff?
Oh,
like that?
I think he was wearing a bodysuit. Like,
okay, because
I think
wow,
yeah.
I'm like that is not your build.
No way. There's no way. But that's not really as distracting because I mean I guess we're sort of used to it by now because we've seen it like in the trailers and stuff. Sure. So no, it's still great. Again, it's just a really funny, really heartfelt movie. There's not much to say about it. Besides the cinematography, another small gripe I have is, and I kind of saw this from the trailer too, the kid Billy Shazam, he kind of doesn't match up with Shazam as an adult, like his personality a little bit, because like as a kid, when he's a kid, he's kind of like cynical and very like introverted.
Okay.
But like when he becomes Shazam, he's kind of goofier, like Zachary Levi, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like there was just a small inconsistency with that, but it wasn't like enough to really bother me too much, you know, because again, it's great.
Yeah.
So it's a fun film and pleasant surprise because I was expecting it like to be decent. I wasn't expecting it to be this good.
Okay.
You know?
Interesting.
Yes.
I'm kind of. It seems like the two that you're referring to, like this and Aquaman, you had a good time with these movies. Like they're just like they're fun movies or whatever. It's not like.
Well, this movie is actually good. Like, well, I mean, okay, how do I explain?
Because they're not like adding to anything in particular. They're just kind of like one-off movies.
Yeah, they're standalone films for sure. Like Aquaman and Shazam are standalone films. Aquaman, I can see more of the structure problems. Like, I love the film. It's my favorite DC film. I'm gonna be real with you, just because it's so much fun to watch. But if someone came up to me and said the structure of that film is very strange, I wouldn't disagree. So as a put together movie, I think Shazam is better. But I just have so much fun with Aquaman, and I love like the stylistic choices that Aquaman made. And Aquaman was an epic film. Aquaman was huge. You know, like a huge scale film. Mm-hmm. This is very small scale, which sometimes you need for these superhero films, you know?
Sure.
And Shazam was perfect to do like a small scale superhero film. And I really enjoyed this film. I gave it a 4 out of 5.
All right.
4 out of 5 stars. So Shazam! Go see it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to mention. There's not too much to go off of. But there's a couple surprises in the movie. There's 2 after credit scenes. So, you know, do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm just going to like kind of blow through some of these. 3 Identical Twins.
Oh, you saw it?
It was a bit repetitive.
Okay.
It was it didn't really. It had something that it kind of felt like it wanted to say, but it was very passive in its approach. I mean, I enjoy like the characters and stuff, or like the people that were a part of it and stuff like that, and they have like a lot of good charisma when they're telling like their stories and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But overall, the movie was just, as a documentary, it was all right. I haven't reviewed it or anything.
Do you think it's overrated? Because people were praising it when it came out.
Probably. I don't remember it being like...
Where is that? Is it on Netflix or Hulu?
It's on Hulu.
Do you have Hulu now?
I did a free month trial.
Okay, because you know Free Solo and Shoplifters are on Hulu. Because
guess what I just watched? I also watched Free Solo.
Oh, okay. I'm still going to watch that. So
Free Solo is really good.
Okay.
Very good. Actually, it would have kicked off The Rider for my top 10. It would have been my number 10.
Really? Dang.
I liked it a lot. It is... Me and my mom watched it together, and we were like... on the edge of our seats.
Damn.
Like, holy shit, this guy is climbing this 3,600 foot like rock.
Yeah.
That has like so many like weird like inconsistencies to its structure. Like he at one point he has to like hold on to like pinch something with his 2 fingers to keep held up. And that's like towards the end of it. So he's like super high up, and I didn't really know what was going to happen. I kind of figured that, like, they're not going to show somebody die on camera or something like that, because that'd be real, like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you can't cut to somebody, like, and say, like, oh, he didn't make it, like. So I kind of had a feeling that nothing like that was going to happen, because that would just be wrong, morally wrong.
Oh, yeah, I hear the documentary kind of talks about that issue, though. Like,
yes,
the morality.
There's a montage of actually, like, of people that had climbed that died of like how old they were and stuff like that. And there was one where like I pretty much witnessed this dude come inches from death. I've never seen somebody in real life come that close to death. He fell while doing it, and he's falling, and then he pulls the parachute like at the very end. But we were seeing it from up above, so like I couldn't see that he was like I couldn't see him die if he was to die. I just saw the parachute. Like I'm like, oh my god, we were freaking out.
That's insane. I gotta watch this film.
It's really good. It does. And this is like why it didn't break into my 9s. I would give it a high 8. The reason is it kind of takes this direction shift for a while that it just kind of like it just kind of felt like it was detouring, just waiting till the final thing. And it kind of added an additional 20 minutes that really didn't feel that necessary. But him as a person. He was a very interesting guy. I don't remember if I wrote down his name. I think is Alex something. Oh yeah, Alex. Yeah, the free climber. Yeah. It's Alex something. I can't remember his last name though. He's a very interesting person, and they do dive real like into his like psychology and stuff like that. And I didn't actually know that they could track this on like brain scanners, but they're able to show that he's a thrill seeker through science. And it's like, I didn't know that you could do that. Okay. That's interesting. But yeah, overall, great movie. Really interesting character. And just very intense. Very intense. So you gotta watch it. All right. And do I really want to talk about any of these other ones? Not really. I mean, do you really? There's one I'm gonna talk about. All right, talk about it. And you're not gonna like it. Oh no. It's not Spring Breakers, don't worry. Okay. But it might as well be for you. I did with my little brother. Watch The Beach Bum? You did, didn't you? No, I'm joking. Is that even out yet? No. I think it's out next week. And actually, that got a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not doing so hot. Well, watch everyone fucking praise it because they're hipsters. Either people love it. They're either going to love it or they're going to absolutely hate it. Right. I'm trying to... Super polarizing. But this film is actually super polarizing to me, too. Like, personally. Do I hate this film? Like, do you know that I hate it? It's climax. Oh, no. I saw the Gasper No film. I watched it with my little brother, and that was probably a mistake. Yeah. I showed him the trailer. I'm like, do you have any interest? He's like, yeah, I'll go see it. My little brother will watch anything, though. And he's like a really smart kid, so I thought he would pick up on some of the subliminal stuff that it was trying to go for, but it didn't really seem like he did, because after he was like, dude, this movie was morbid just for the sake of morbid. There was no substance to it whatsoever. And I'm like, let me counter that real quick. And we kind of had a little discussion about it as we drove home. Hopefully he saw where I was coming from. But like this movie, if you aren't familiar with it, we didn't get to talk about it. Let me put it to you this way. I messed up, and I was going to put this on my top 5 anticipated list. I was going to put it at number 5 because I really liked the trailer. I was like super about the trailer. Okay. It's a Gasper No film. It's about these people that gather together. They're all dancers, and they want to work with this choreographer, and so they're at this dance party, and somebody. It's kind of like I guess they really don't really make it into a mystery, but somebody spikes the punch, and everybody's just like crazy. They're going nuts. And this movie is super weird at first. Like, the film it's going to sound really messy because this movie's kind of weird. It's not messy, but it's just weird. So, Gasper No has 2 films that I actually haven't seen. I've seen a decent chunk of Enter the Void because I have a friend that really likes it. Enter the Void is kind of unique in its approach because it's about a character that ODs, and the whole film is witnessed through his soul as he sees like the way they talk about him behind his back and stuff like that. And so the camera work in that film, I think, really sold its premise. It's like if it didn't show it from like up above, like it wouldn't really work. You wouldn't be able to tell that this is him viewing it. Okay. And Irreversible, although I haven't seen it and I know nothing about the premise, I think that showing a film entirely in reverse could do a lot for themes like repression or like regrets or something like that, because dealing with time. My imagination kind of runs wild, but both of these films are like really well regarded, and this film is kind of like 70%, and there's a lot of people like trashing on it because of what my brother said, that it's just morbid for the sake of morbid, and this movie is super, super disturbing. Like, it's fucked up even for me.
Of course it is.
Even for me, Nico,
Oh my God.
I was like, this is fucked up.
Oh my God.
And before we get to that, we'll start with this. He always likes to do something ambitious with like structure or something like that, or something that he brings new to the table. In this film, he really doesn't have that. He starts the film with the end credits. I'm like, why? Is it as shallow as the beginning is the end? Because that's a really lame thing to say. But really, there was no reason for it whatsoever. That's funny, yeah, I know, right? I was super confused.
Oh my God, that's just so something Gaspar Noé would do.
And halfway through the film, he did something similar, where he showed all of the cast, and they all had their own fonts, because he loves his fonts.
Yes. He's like a Lars von Trier with his fonts.
He loves his fonts. He's showing everyone with their own font. Then they shows the musical artists and stuff like that. Just kind of didn't do anything, but it was there. Mm-hmm. And so let's get into the meat of this thing.
Mm-hmm. By the way, you know how I feel about Gaspar Noé. For the viewers watching this, I'm not a fan.
So the first like 20 minutes is like the interviews of like what these people want, their ambitions from dancing and stuff like that, and what they would do to make it in the world. Pretty much all of them are like, I'd do anything.
Okay.
So it does take a long time to like get through this segment, because there's a lot of characters and they really try to do something with every single one of them, and it really doesn't work. There's just too many, and I basically just remember some of these characters strictly from their dance moves, because these dance moves are nuts. These people have to be double jointed. Like some of these moves with their arms are insane.
Okay.
And it's a pleasure to watch. The first opening dance sequence is awesome.
Okay.
And then it goes into this really weird editing where it like shows like for 5 seconds like 10 seconds a piece, it shows two people talking together, and they're like open. They have like one person that they can open up to, and what they're saying is like really like messed up shit, like how like this one bitch, she doesn't even deserve to be here, stuff like that, or these dudes are like, dude, I'm gonna fucking dominate this girl's asshole or something like that, like, something like just completely fucked up.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah. But they're kind of, they won't do it. They won't say anything to other people's faces or stuff like that. It's just gossip. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't guessed, you don't care about these characters whatsoever. They're all just shitheads.
I figured.
But there is one character that you do feel for, and that character kind of brings the purity and innocence of the film. Mm-hmm. And then after that whole segment, it jumps into another dance sequence, which is like where I came to the conclusion that he's very inconsistent, and he really doesn't know. He's just trying shit out, and like not all of it works. Mm-hmm. I really like the cinematography for the first dance sequence, because it moves around. The camera work, or the cameraman, I guess, is like it needs choreography in itself. Like it demands like a specific type of movement and stuff like that, and this was just the second sequence was completely shot from like up above. So you can't see, it's very one-dimensional. You can't really see who's there. You can kind of guess who these characters are that are dancing, but you really can't see the movement that they're doing. And it's like a 5 to 10 minute sequence that like is kind of lame and one-dimensional, and I kind of really didn't like that. And I'm like, why didn't you go back to the other thing? Move around. I want to see these people. I want them 3-dimensionalized, or whatever. And then we get to the finale, like the climax.
Oh yeah.
Is a 45-minute long take.
Okay.
And it's fucking awesome. Like, to watch, it's awesome. There's so much like crazy movements to the camera. Like you saw the where she's walking down the hall, and it goes like a complete like 360, and that in itself says something, because like everything is just gone bonkers at this point. And everyone's fate in this movie, I mean, it's not all the same. Everyone has like their own fate that is like completely like special to them, and it's like, wow, this is nuts. There's so much going on, and there's no character that is within their own mind to be able to realize, except for the main character. She's the only one who's able to realize like this is messed up, because she's the only one that she's high, she's messed up too, but she still realizes like this is not right. And basically what this film comes to, and the big motive to this film, is it's not anti-drug, it's anti-people.
Okay.
It's very anti-people because it's like these people wanted to do the things that they're doing without the drugs, but now this kind of unveils it. It's like the catalyst to this chaos and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so not a lot of faith in humanity.
I kind of don't know where you're gonna go with this, like your score.
Okay.
I feel like I can guess, so let me know. I want to guess before you say it.
Okay.
Whenever you're done.
And then there's one other additional thing. I'm not going to talk about this ulterior motive that this film has, but there is one other thing that the film does say. You would hate it. You would absolutely hate it. Well, it's nothing religious related. But
okay, because Gasparino is very, I'll put it lightly and say critical. By critical, I mean he just bashes religion all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like, have you ever seen his Instagram?
No, I don't follow him.
Oh, he just makes fun of it all the time. Not even makes fun of it. He just bashes it.
There's 3 texts, like title cards, that show up in the film, and they're like they contradict each other, every single one of them. But I feel like he means every single one of them. But the way that he places them, the progression of them, is like that's what you really have to look at. And so this film has like an ulterior motive that like I really don't agree with.
Okay.
I can see where he's coming from, but like. I just don't agree with him. And,
so would it be considered like a spoiler to say what it is?
Sure.
Well, okay.
I mean,
like to say what the ulterior motive is?
I guess not really, because it kind of goes hand in hand with it. But he's like, he doesn't. He's like, I think what he's trying to say is we should not procreate. Like we should just be done.
This fucking guy did.
Like. And this is a very extreme example of it, but. In all reality, like, what happens in this room isn't that far off from what happens in real life. I mean, it doesn't happen all in the same place, and not every single person wants this.
Right.
That's the extreme part of it, but, like, this kind of thing does happen.
Okay. Interesting.
I can see where he's coming from, but I don't agree with it. I don't think we should just give up like that.
Right. I feel like
we've overcome a lot.
Yeah, I feel like me and him are, like, antithesis. Like, we're complete parentheticals of each other. Like, we ignore, like, I see, like, even in some of my stories that I write, not saying that I'm, like, by any means on the same, like, standard. I mean, this dude's released movies and I haven't, so, but, like, I acknowledge that stuff exists and I even show it, but I show, like, the flip side of that coin saying, like, but there's hope at the end. Like, we can be better than this.
Yes.
Where he's, apparently, from judging by what you're saying, he's like, oh, yeah, no. Like, this is us. This is the end. We should just stop.
No. Yeah, that's pretty much where he's going with this.
Yeah.
Now, I guess let's get into the 3 things that like really why like this is where my rating comes from. One, I don't care about these characters like whatsoever, like not at all. He doesn't give me a good reason to, but I mean that's kind of like that's what is supposed to be happening. So I guess it makes sense. 2. As like entertaining as like that 45-minute segment is, like it's like watching a car crash. Like, you know how people say like you can't take your eyes off of it stuff, but it feels like almost too close to watching a car crash, where it's like actually like
it starts to feel uncomfortable.
I can't watch this film like willy-nilly. Like I can't just put it on like anytime I want to. I guess I have to be in the right mood for it. And then 3rd, and I know that he has like. Stylistically, he has stuff going on here that is very his own, but it feels like he's not really doing much else that he hasn't already done. And he kind of just throws things out like, and it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really mean anything. So like when it shows it from up above, it doesn't really help that scene whatsoever. The whole beginning ending credit scene is a little whack. And then there's another scene that lasts for like legitimately 10 minutes where you can't tell what's going on. It's incomprehensible. And the cameraman at this point is just on the ground. You can't tell if people are dying. You can't tell. Like, it looks like some people are having sex. I can't tell. It's like 10 minutes long. It's way too long. That just didn't really do anything. So like, he just kind of throws shit out there, and not a lot of it sticks in this film. Okay. This film is okay.
Okay, all right, so you can give the rating?
I think that there's something here. I give it a solid 6.
A solid 6. I almost said low 7.
No.
Solid
nothing
6,
like that.
huh?
Solid 6.
Oh, okay.
It's just okay.
Okay. I was expecting you to be praising it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know you were. This is. I would consider this to be relatively a disappointment for me, given that I had such high hopes. But I mean, I really didn't know too much about what to expect. So.
No, for sure. No, I got you.
Climax, man. Wow.
Yeah.
What a movie.
I wish I hear you. You go on this whole thing about Climax, and then I look back at my Shazam review, and I'm just like, man, I am nothing. My review sucked compared to yours.
But you have to understand that Shazam probably doesn't have a lot of meat towards it, to it.
Right.
This movie has a lot that he wants to say.
That's true. So
I feel like if we were talking about the same movie, you'd have just as much stuff to talk about.
That's probably.
And also, I'm sorry it's so unorganized. I didn't write anything down for this because I haven't written a review.
I don't write shit down, dude. I'll be real.
I know you don't. But man, like the way that I was talking about this movie is like it felt like I was like watching the movie. Like if you were watching this movie and you were listening to my review, like it would almost be like syncing up Pink Floyd to The Wizard of Oz. Like it just works.
Yeah. All right, so are we done with recently seen?
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to our next segment.
Did you make a hot list? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make my own hot list. How does that feel, you little bitch?
How does that feel, you little bitch?
Okay, all right.
That's from This Is 40.
This is 40. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, with Leslie Mann.
Yeah, I got the voice.
I just looked up list scene. I didn't know. I just nothing popped up except that.
Man.
High Fidelity. I'll have to look into that.
Top 5 breakup songs. Like that's his thing. He just throughout the film he just talks to the camera, just says it, and it's completely related to what's going on in the movie.
Damn. Well, maybe I'll redo it.
And that's me. John Cusack's character is literally me. I love top 5 lists.
Yeah, maybe I'll redo it, or maybe I'm too lazy and I won't.
No, I'm totally fine with either.
I probably won't redo it.
That's fine.
Yes,
that's totally fine. As long as we can throw it out there as that would have been really cool.
It would have been a cool one.
But I like what you got, dude. All these are awesome. Dude.
Thank you.
You've been so busy.
It's because of the freaking The Office, dude. It changed the game. I'm telling you.
The Office.
Yeah,
that's right. I gotta come in there and see what it's about.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, it's still a work in progress. But we got the desk and the computer and some of the decorations, and I just talked to my mom today about putting some more stuff in there. I
gotta sit in on something that you do at some point. I want to learn some of this stuff.
Yeah, dude, I'm down.
Help lighten the load maybe a little bit.
I'm down. So we're gonna talk about our favorite writers. So you said writers.
Screenplay writers.
That's writers. That's what I thought. So yeah. William Shakespeare doesn't count.
No, he does not.
But
or somebody who wrote the book for the movie that they
right, like Stephen King. He don't count.
Yeah, he don't count. Even though he has 117 movie adaptations.
Yes. And so a lot of this, there is a little gray area here because a lot of these, there's a lot of directors who are also writers. And there's also directors who are co-writers of their own film. Mm-hmm.
I tried to stay clear of that, but there was a couple names that I couldn't There's reasons why though. I had pretty decent reasons why I had to include them.
Right. Okay. So, all right. Let's talk about honorable mentions.
Well, before we do that, I think we both talked about this before. We probably could have put more time into this. Me personally, I didn't really have a computer to work on while I was down in Florida. I also just signed up for classes and I had to do a mandatory online course.
Oh, what are you signing up for?
What?
You signing up for classes?
Film classes.
Oh, damn. Where are you going?
OCC.
Oh, nice.
Oakland Community College. I don't know.
Nice.
Whatever.
Say what?
It's whatever. But I feel like the first couple
here's the thing.
Intro to film, I'm just gonna blast through that.
Yeah, right. Just try to make as many friends as possible, and then we can both utilize them.
That's what I'm gonna try to do. Dude.
Yeah.
I have such a likable personality.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna stroll in there.
See, I don't. I am not a people person.
Nah, dude. But when you get to know, when they get to know you, you become an instant classic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. I'm like a fine wine.
Absolutely.
And you're like tequila.
I'm just like a fucking PBR. I'm just trying to get you smashed. So that's just a little disclaimer for this one. I know we do this. We do this all the time. We kind of work off of each other. So hopefully that we have some stuff. It's oh man, that would have been really cool if I put that on there.
Yes.
So how many honorable mentions you got?
Not that many.
I have 7.
Okay, you can name a couple. You can go 2.
Okay, so starting off, we have
By the way, sorry to interrupt you. I'm not going to really elaborate on these honorable mentions. I'm just going to say their name.
That's fine. That's fine. I got some stuff that I wrote down. I did put a little bit effort in this.
I did not.
So we're start off.
I was too busy making cues. Okay.
We're going to start off with two directors. We're going to start off with Kubrick, because his improv and on-the-fly changes on the script paid off. Usually this is the death of films when spontaneous changes occur, but in Kubrick's case, these might have been the key to success.
Yes.
Linklater, he's a great director, but his genius lies in writing. His big triumphs, such as the Before trilogy, Boyhood, Dazed and Confused, and Slacker, are all successful because incorporating real-life experience and truth have more impact than fabricating fiction. Linklater has proved no one in the 21st century can hold a candle to his slice of life sensibilities.
There you go. Because that was it? Okay, yeah. Billy Wilder, because, I mean, come on.
Boy, yeah.
Come on.
I mean, that would have been a great one. I did not include him, though. Hampton Fancher, the man who wrote two of my favorite movies, both Blade Runners. The first Blade Runner was such a grounded tale. His golden goose was easily Roy. Small characters is where Fancher shines. Same thing with the new one, although I think it had more of an engaging and ever-changing mystery. But small characters like joy, and love for that matter, show how important human emotion can be even in a world without humanity.
Okay.
And then I also had John Milius, which I wouldn't really consider him to be like a favorite of mine, but I watched a documentary on him with all of his like testosterone-fueled projects and whatnot, and he brought all the masculinity with him. Okay. Additionally, he worked with actors like Martin Sheen and turned him into a borderline noir character for Apocalypse Now.
Okay.
His son Charlie said before Milius, he was never capable of that kind of darkness.
Damn.
And there was actually a story of him where he was like doing the voiceovers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The monologues, and he's just like stop, and then he comes in there and he puts a gun down and he's like, pick that up, and he's like you like that? You like that? You feel that power? Put that into your work. Like he's like what? What?
Damn,
that is such an unconventional thing to do.
That's just fucking crazy. Damn. Okay. So I also have Kubrick.
Okay.
I also got Kubrick because he's a director. First and foremost, it was a weird just balance for me. It's like who do I consider? Because I also have the Coen brothers down here, but it's like, do I consider them more writers, directors? I mean, because they even write some films that they don't direct, like Bridge of Spies, which Steven Spielberg directed.
Yeah.
They wrote that film too, so they do write films they don't direct. So it was just too much of a headache, so I just put it at.
Yeah, I almost included them. But I was trying to find one of them that specialized in writing, one of them that specialized in directing, and it seems like I think it's Ethan. Like, is really like does more directing than he does writing. Yeah. But they all kind of write the same project.
Yeah.
Like if they're doing something together, they do it together.
Mm-hmm.
They're inseparable. So yeah, that was a good choice.
Yes.
Good choice. How many more honorable mentions?
I just got like 2 or 3 more.
2 or 3 more. Well, I got 3 more. So I'm just gonna the Monty Python crew, man. Because sketch comedy has never been that good.
Terry Gilliam and John Cleese and
Terry Jones.
Terry Jones.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, good crew.
Yeah, I love Monty Python. They're hilarious.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So you want to list one more?
Oh yeah, that was it. Okay, yeah. Paul Thomas Anderson.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude.
PTA. So good.
Okay. Sorry, no, you go ahead.
Sorry, did you have something to add to that? I didn't want to.
I was fine. Just go ahead.
So from the next guy, he had a bit of a dry spell, but he's still an old king. Mm-hmm. Paul Schrader, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, Mishima, which I haven't seen, but I hear it's like amazing. Mm-hmm. Last Temptation of Christ really sealed this man's career. No one's thought he was going to return to form, thank you. Mm-hmm. Until he wrote First Reformed.
Yeah.
It might not have gotten the Academy recognition, but many are very passionate about it and say it's like the best film of 2018.
Yes. I did it. I think I told you on the podcast, Brendan met him. I think I told you this.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah, Brendan actually met Paul Schrader, which is pretty sick.
So cool.
Yes, it is. All right, I got 2 more. Okay. Orson Welles, again, he's more of a director, I think, than writer.
But he's still so
good, And then my last one, real quick, if I could just say, this is going to be a controversial one. It's going to be very controversial. Charlie Kaufman is an honorable mention. and not on my list. Yes.
That's actually really surprising.
I know. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, adaptation, John Malkovich, or being John Malkovich, rather. What else did he do? A couple other things,
Lisa.
Yeah. Amazing films.
Synecdoche, New York.
Yeah, thank you. I can never do it. Yeah, dude. Again, he's just... he was so close, but someone else beat him. And the person who beat him, you're going to be like, really? That's the fucking guy
I can't wait to hear.
That's the guy who beat him?
This one... I kind of regret putting him on here, but, like, I kind of don't. Why did he have to do me like this with Sicario 2? Taylor Sheridan, man.
Oh, he's so good.
3 for 4. 3 for 4. Those 3, though, are some of the best thrillers and or westerns in the last 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
I love Taylor Sheridan. And even though his momentum kind of stopped, like, I still have faith in him. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Oh, I got you, man. I got you.
So we jumping into the top 5?
Top 5.
You got to go first because I want to know what
who bumped Charlie Kaufman off my number 5 spot.
I kind of care. Yeah, go ahead.
You're gonna think I'm crazy. Lawrence Kasdan.
Okay, keep.
I love Lawrence Kasdan, man. It's just his films are fun. Okay, and I love it. I think Charlie Kaufman's a great writer.
Oh man.
But like I want the fun. I want the adventure, and I think Lawrence Kasdan writes the adventure better than most other people, dude. Raiders of the Lost Ark, freaking Empire Strikes Back, The Big Chill, Silverado, freaking Force Awakens, Mumford, Wyatt Earp. I mean he's made he takes these films, these adventure films, and gives them heart. I had to have the blockbuster writer in there.
No, I completely understand.
And that's the thing. It's like he gives you a sense of fun, and yet he still brings a level of like heart and character to his films. His characters are developed. They're fleshed out, and yet they're still fun.
Okay, that's what I can accept that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that answer.
Yes.
I thought it was somebody else, but I'm going to hold off on saying who it was because you might still have that person on there.
Maybe.
And
I mean, the guy who wrote Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, come on. All right.
I like that.
All right.
I like it.
All right.
My number 5, Ernest Lehman. He was part of that bridging from old black and white golden age Hollywood to the Silver Age. With some of his films, he practically kept Hollywood from skipping right to the Bronze Age, including his 2 big musicals, West Side Story and The Sound of Music, both keeping a sense of purity. Other hits were the devilishly sexy thriller, North by Northwest, and the audacious adaptation of Edward Albee's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, which is one of my favorite movies.
Yes.
Lehman wasn't particularly concerned with which side of Hollywood he leaned towards. He was only concerned with just writing good screenplays.
Nice. Nice.
I like him.
All right. You know who I like?
Who do you like?
My number 4. The Nolan brothers. Jonathan Nolan and Chris Nolan.
I almost put Jonathan Nolan on there because Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld.
Dude,
yeah.
Westworld.
Yeah, Westworld, and there's also Memento and The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises and Batman Begins. Did you write Batman Begins? I think they did Batman Begins as well. They always put their fingers through whatever they do.
Yeah.
They're both great, right? Inception. They're both great.
Mm.
Okay, and they both shine when they're doing projects together. It's kind of weird because they're so different, like their personalities. Like, Jonathan Nolan has an American accent, yet Christopher Nolan has a British accent. And they're like brothers.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
So, again, and freaking Jonathan Nolan was the mastermind behind Memento. And Memento was a freaking insane, like that is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, structurally.
Yeah, structurally, it's crazy. And the story is also great. So, I love these guys.
Yeah, that's a good... I like that one. Mm-hmm. Number 4, Aaron Sorkin.
Ooh, that's your number 4?
When has there been a writer prioritizing everything, manipulating structure, concealing and revealing information for the sake of the audience, and wildly entertaining a witty banter? Sorkin has it all. His small filmography for film is mostly genius, and his long-running series, The West Wing, is non-stop perfection. I'm watching that right now. I fucking love it. 22 to 23 episodes a season with a teleplay written by him for 4 seasons. You would think you would get a dud somewhere in there, but he treats everyone like it was his own child. Every single episode. There's an episode that I just watched the other night, and it was actually one of the weaker episodes where Martin Sheen, the president, is playing a game with Sam Seaborn, played by Rob Lowe, and I don't know the actor who plays Toby Ziegler. I feel like I should. And they're playing 2 different games of chess in 2 different rooms. And the way that he goes about the game of chess is he relates their moves to a specific battle. So the 2 of them are thinking, how did this battle end up? How did they resolve it or whatever to beat him in chess? And it's like, that's one of the weaker episodes. And tell me that doesn't sound awesome.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yes. He's amazing. Aaron Sorkin's so good. Mm-hmm. And I don't even like baseball, but he made me care about baseball with Moneyball.
That's what, dude.
Steve Jobs, 3 nights of a man's life, just showing everything you need to know about that phase of that man's life. Yep. Wow. Yep. Amazing. One of the best biopics. Like, yeah, he's just really good.
Absolutely. All right, my next one is it's Richard Linklater.
Ah!
When it comes to slice of life, aka real world films, nobody does it better than this guy. And that's not even to say like that's the only thing he can do. He can branch out and do other things like more screwball comedies like School of Rock. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This guy, but when it comes to like slice of life films like Boyhood, the Before trilogy, he nails it. Everybody Wants Some, Dazed and Confused. He is the master at taking real life and making it poignant. That's the thing. Yeah. I was going to say interesting, but it's not necessarily interesting. It's poignant and meaningful. And he's the best at finding meaning in the mundane.
Yes.
That is where Linklater shines. And that's why I love Linklater so much, is because you know how I feel about coming of age movies. I don't like them because they always go against what they are, or if they do follow what they are, it's boring. But Richard Linklater doesn't do that. He finds a way to find meaning in the mundane lives of real world people.
Yes.
You know? And not only that, but like if you watch a film like A Scanner Darkly, even like it's just a bunch of stories interwoven. That whole thing is just dialogue. So yeah.
Same with Waking Life.
And Waking Life, yeah. So I absolutely love Richard Linklater. He's criminally underrated. First of all, he's up there with he's up there with the greats, and it's sad that people just don't acknowledge him sometimes. Boyhood should have won. Call back. And I mean he's great.
His big theme is that he loves to play with is so relatable, of like the indecisiveness, something that we've probably all gone through when we didn't know what we wanted to do with our future and stuff like that. And that really resonates with me because I'm still kind of like on that same path.
Me too. And he doesn't over exaggerate it. That's what I love about it. No, not at all. He makes it real, but not boring.
It's like a small conversation that happens like on a football field.
Yes, he makes it real, and he doesn't make it pretentious, and that's why I love Richard Linklater.
Great choice. Great choice.
Mm-hmm.
My number 3, Thea von Harbo. Writer to most Fritz Lang films, including Dr. Mabuse. Is it called something else, Dr. Mabuse?
Moreau?
Moreau?
Isn't it? You're talking about the Island of Dr. Moreau or something?
Mabuse.
Oh, I have no idea.
It's like I think it's a trilogy, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Metropolis.
By the way, I don't think Fritz Lang directed The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah. But I mean, the name sounds.
Yeah,
I can see where you would come from with that.
Yeah.
Metropolis, Destiny, and M. Lang tries his best to eliminate the use of title cards, but big ideas coming from Harbo's head couldn't be said with just pure imagery and body language. The 2 of them were changing the game through changes to storytelling, detailing vast, vivid worlds, and learning to sympathize with the villain, which is probably the most audacious thing that he's done.
Yeah.
That they've done.
Yeah.
She's really good.
Nice.
Very good.
Nice. All right, my number 2 is going to be very surprising to you. It's going to be very surprising, but just hear me out.
Okay, I'm wondering if this is the one that I thought was number 5.
It's Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, okay.
Is my number 2.
Okay.
I know I'm critical of Tarantino from time to time, but the man is the master of dialogue. Okay, he might not be the master of plot, but here's the thing. When it comes to writing, the biggest thing, in my opinion, is character. I always think character comes before plot. That's my opinion. Because you can have a cool plot, but if you don't give a shit about anybody, who cares?
Fair enough.
You know? So I think when it comes to character, even though his plots may be really thin and, you know, I think if you have an interesting character, you can make those thin plots shine still. You know, and I think that's what he's done. I think he's great at doing that. He takes these very just standard plots, like Hateful Eight. A bunch of people trapped in a cabin during the winter who hate each other. That's what it is, right? So on paper, it's a very thin plot. Tarantino takes that thin plot and beefs that baby up with amazing character, amazing thought-provoking dialogue. When it's just people in a room or in a warehouse, like Reservoir Dogs,
in a bar from Death Proof.
Or in a bar from Death Proof. That was the one exception where I was like, I do not care what they're talking about. But
dude, you gotta give it another shot, dude.
I think I just need to watch
funny dialogue.
I need to watch Grindhouse just in general. Like I need to watch both films because I'm making a Grindhouse type film soon.
Sounds like a marathon.
Marathon. All right, double feature.
Double feature.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so he can beef it up with these characters. Like I love it when people are just sitting at a table or in a warehouse like Reservoir Dogs, in a cabin like Hateful Eight, or sitting at a poker table like in Inglourious Bastards. Mm-hmm. That's when he shines because he makes dialogue interesting. I'm a huge proponent of show don't tell. For him, I'm like the complete opposite. And for him to make me kind of reverse that rule of mine, which is a very strong rule I hold for films, that's saying something. That just says how good his writing is.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I may not agree with his directing stylistic choices or like his plots or his pacing or whatever, but his dialogue and his writing is second to none, and you just can't deny.
Yeah, no, yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Great
and
choice.
you can feel his passion through his writing too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
His passion comes through. It's not robotic. It's totally real.
I have a question for you though.
Yes.
For show don't tell, did you need the tell in the specific circumstance of Inglourious Bastards, the bar scene, where like he gave him away? Did you need that explanation, or did you know what he was referring to?
No, I see. That's the one thing where I think telling would be sufficient. Yeah. Like that.
Because like they don't do this.
Yeah, they do this.
Yeah. Because they think it's easier.
I was just thinking about that scene today.
They think that's easier.
Yeah.
But it's whatever.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's what it was. So yeah.
Great scene.
All
actually, like the scenes where it's just kind of like isolated. I think those are his best scenes in his movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
awesome choice.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 2, it's not surprising. It's Charlie Kaufman.
Okay, yeah.
Human movies delivered in a cerebral way. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind reminds you what you love so much about a relationship through decaying memory fragments. We talked about this movie before.
Memory fragments?
Ooh, sounds familiar.
What?
Anomalisa is a stop-motion realism film about overcoming loneliness in a lifeless world. And adaptation, on paper, sounds like a generic biopic, but masks that with fictional elements that he brought to the table, like adding his brother, and then it completely changes. Like, so if you thought that you were getting yourself into a biopic, and you thought that the way that this movie ended was the way that it ended in real life, like, do your research.
No,
because he's tricking you, and he's great at it.
I gotta see it.
He's always thinking outside the box, but one thing always connects his films, and it's that they're about us. They're just about people. And I adore him.
Well, he adores you.
I hope so.
Yes. All right, so is it my number 1 time?
It is your number 1.
Ooh, would you like to guess who it is?
Okay, so I'll just tell you who the one, and I was like, I hope it's not that person, and I hope that it's not your number 1. It was George Lucas.
Oh, what?
That when you were like, hear me out, I was like, no.
Look, I respect Lucas wholeheartedly. The guy changed the industry forever. You know, with his inventions in sound.
Yeah, but that did not come from his writing, though.
No, but in sound, special effects, and film financing even, the guy has revolutionized the industry. So I love the guy. I think he's a great talent. He created Star Wars, and I love him forever for it. But he is not a good writer. He is, in my opinion, he's a very bad writer.
Even...
I don't want to say very bad writer, but he's just not. You know what he's great at? Or at least in his earlier career, concepts. Big ideas.
Yeah.
He just needed someone like Lawrence Kasdan to come in and hone those ideas down. That's it.
And this might be controversial, but honestly, I think that it even shows in like the original trilogy for for Star Wars. Like, the characters are so default, so traditional, like, fantasy characters. Like Luke Skywalker pretty much wants to be a knight. That's his storyline.
Yeah.
That's, like, what every single fantasy, original story wanted to do for its main character or whatever. All of his characters are very default.
Yeah.
So.
But again, no disrespect to George Lucas.
No, not at all.
We the guy's great, but there are people who have great talents, and he's probably a much better director. Actually, it's pretty much proven he's a good director. I mean, to do like the prequels, that's still a big, to like take technology that has never been done before and utilize that on the big screen.
Yeah.
Like, he was the first guy to ever shoot digitally. That's crazy. Like, that's huge. Right? So he's a great director. I just feel like if he didn't write... It's like a Shyamalan thing. If he didn't write his own stuff, he'd be much better, I think. So, anyway.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. My number 1 is Aaron Sorkin. Come on, bro.
So that's why... I should have said that because you were like, oh, that's really your number 4?
I thought it was going to be at least your number 2, in all honesty.
Oh, no charge of the coffin, man.
Bruh. Moneyball. Social Network. Steve Jobs. Molly's Game. Charlie Wilson's War. Fan-freaking-tastic. West Wing.
Don't forget West Wing.
The Newsroom.
The Newsroom, dude!
Mm-hmm.
Please tell me you've seen the scene where Jeff... what's his name? I keep thinking Jeff Bridges. Not Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Foxworthy.
No.
I'm in the newsroom, and you might be a little bitch. I don't know his comedy.
Whoa, dude. Because I'm drawing a blank right now and I suck. The conversation about like America, like that season finale.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was getting shared everywhere.
Yeah, I saw that conversation. I feel like, what's his name? Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels. Yes, thank you. I was just about to.
I do like that monologue. I feel like it kind of peters out at the end though. It's like, we used to reach for the stars and be like, okay, Aaron Sorkin, dial it back down. Okay. Not to rewrite Aaron Sorkin because whatever, but I mean, come on, we used to reach for this. I'm like, okay, got a little cheesy at the end there, but
no, dude, I thought that was hot.
Well, you know what it is.
I was getting hot and bothered.
But he's my number 1 favorite writer, so you can't assault me for saying that.
Sure.
Dude, The Social Network. That's all I gotta say. The Social Network.
Social Network is Network. And I didn't even include that in like the stuff that I was talking about. But yeah, that's probably the best thing.
It's amazing. I don't even know if I want to elaborate. Just The Social Network.
It's been dissected so many times.
I know. No. Okay, so I'll elaborate a little more. You're right. I mean, the way he structures his dialogue and makes it so fast-paced, he's very fast-paced with his dialogue, and it always catches your interest. There's nothing... Whereas why he's my number 1 and Quentin Tarantino is not, and Quentin Tarantino is my number 2, is because Quentin Tarantino can talk about arbitrary things and make it sound interesting, where I feel like with Aaron Sorkin, he doesn't talk about arbitrary things. He always gets to the point, and that's why it's so fast-paced and super intense, all the time. It's always at 100%, and that's why I love his dialogue. Even if he does talk about arbitrary things here and there, there's always like a character motivation behind it, whereas I feel like Quentin Tarantino can like bring up an arbitrary thing and just linger on it, and it adds no substance to anything. It's cool, like the way you're talking about it, but it doesn't add anything, and that's just certain things, not like the entire span of his writing. But with Aaron Sorkin, it's all important. And I feel like if you just miss a word of his like monologues that he writes, it's like boom, it's like you're done for. Like you have to go back and rewatch it just because like if you miss one hint, like single iota of information, you're going to be lost. And that's a sign of a good writer, in all honesty.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Moneyball, super like slow burn but super human story. Steve Jobs, again, kind of such a cool way to structure a biopic, because biopics are so formulaic. For him to come in and break that formula, fantastic. Only Aaron Sorkin could do that.
We need more of that.
Yes.
Way more.
So he's my number.
Yeah, he needs to put out more content. Quicker.
So Dora, he is my number uno. Good choice. Imagine if Aaron Sorkin wrote the Dora movie.
Oh man, I might actually care about it.
Yeah.
Dang. So your boy's gotta. I feel bad that I do this all the time. I always throw out like this like pretentious name or whatever, like, but like I was about to give it to Charlie Kaufman because I really like his work at like a consistent level.
Would I know this person?
Probably not by name.
Ben Height, Ernest Lehman. William Goldman. I'm just looking up writers now.
Ernest Lehman was my number 5. So this is actually a co-writer of a lot of movies, and the only reason that I even considered this was because I had to do some research and stuff like that.
Can I do one more guess?
Yes.
Joseph L. Mankiewicz.
It's not an American. It's
okay.
Shinobu Hashimoto, co-writer for most of Kurosawa's films, like Rashomon, Seven Samurai, Ikaru, Throne of Blood. With Hashimoto, he wrote his best stuff. Like, and I guess not his best stuff, but his most diverse, like, work came from him. From his biggest samurai hit to a mystery film about the authenticity of truth, his most emotional and probably the most emotional slice of life film ever made, and a corporate corruption retelling of Hamlet. When he was writing this stuff, he wasn't just writing his like big samurai films. He was writing his Hitchcock, the Bad Sleep Well. Like, that's what he was writing, what he was doing, like, under his wing, and stuff like that. And this is just, it's kind of tragic because, like, Shinobu is a prime example of writers underappreciated and eclipsed by the spotlight of the director.
Damn.
And so I gotta give it to him, dude. He's so good.
Nice, dude. Nice. All right, my friend. Looks like that's it.
That's it. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. Back to you, fuckers. I love that. I love that line.
The only reason I thought of it is because you put it in the thing.
Yeah, I know. Right, but that's such a good line. All right, so I think that's the end. Anything you got to say?
Yeah, I got a question for you.
What's up?
What's your favorite
Surrey movie? Ah.